Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dream Arena, sponsored by Telia. We are here for the Heroes of Newerth tournament. They've already played one game. It looks like Stay Green is in the lead, but this could be anyone's final. So without further ado, let me introduce you to our teams. First up, we have Denial. That is, of course, Probusk, Support, Zlapt in the center. Next to him, one of our youngest competitors, it's Mickey. A lot of fans in the audience, and rounding out the team, we have Flammeister. Their opponents, the returning Dreamhack champions, are Stay Green. Beginning with Limp. Next to him, we have Z-Freak. In the center of the team, it is Swindlemelons. Then it's My Nuts. Great name, I love it. And rounding out, Stay Green is Chessie. We're looking forward to a good match. Please give them your support. Without further ado, gentlemen, let's get this game started.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Dreamhack Winter 2013. That is right, the grand finals continuing finally, and we are at the Dream Arena. The crowd out there, they are loud. We are full. Crowd, make some noise, please. That's right. That's right. They are here, and we can hear them too. With that said, I'm Breaky CBK, joined by
Beef. What's going on, Breaky?
I'm doing terrific, man. Of course, this is it. We've already had one game down, as Rachel mentioned there, but it's a 1-0 lead for Stay Green. But again, Denial eSports, this is the team, newer when it comes to being on the scene and whatnot. Will they be able to overcome the juggernaut that is Stay Green? We're gonna have to wait to find out, Beef.
Yeah, we certainly are. I mean, the returning champion's going to be coming in here with a lot of momentum. Up that 1-0 in Denial. This is going to be not only their first LAN here at Dreamhack. They've shown that they can do it at LAN. Now can they do it on the main stage? Audiences out there, they're making some noise. They're going to be loud when they hear the big plays. And we'll see if players like Mickey are going to be able to overcome that, maybe a little bit of nervousness, Breaky, and if they're going to be able to make it out of this one alive.
I love it. Mickey especially, he's like the one player really at this Dreamhack that a lot of people have just grown to love. He's just such an awesome player, such a cool guy, and no doubt his fan base especially has definitely gone through the roof. But so has Denial eSports, I think it's safe to say. Sure. I mean, they got a couple of quality victories. Of course, you look back at the group stages, they took out Internet Gangsters, which is what set them up in that second place seed, where they got matched up against Shit Happens, of course, the BYOC team initially. You know, you could safely say definitely the easier matchup in that case there, or else they would have had to go against Lion Esports Club if they finished third. So they got some big victories, and then, of course, they defeated Too Much Sugar earlier on today. 2-0. Nobody saw that coming, especially Stay Green. I mean, Jesse, when I was interviewing him, he's like, yeah, we showed up late expecting it to be TMSR. All of a sudden we got word, wait, Denial eSports won? Holy crap, how did that happen? We still don't even know how that happened. No, they played it very well, and obviously they're deserving to be here.
Yeah, absolutely, Breaky. You can say that they might have actually made it through with the easier side in the quarterfinals, but TMSR definitely no slouches, and Denial showed up. They were able to deflect any kind of the pushing aggression, then they were able to take it into a standard game there in game 2, where they just annihilated TMSR.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you're doing that in the face of all the fans there for TMSR. Denial, of course, they have their own crew, but when you're going up against some of the biggest names in the business, some of the veterans here, you definitely need to have the chops, and Denial showed they had theirs. So we're going to see now if they can do it on the main stage. They're going to be getting ready here pretty soon, Breaky, but that's going to tell whether or not Stay Green can defend their crown with a 2-0, or if Denial can take us to an epic game number 3.
Yeah, as you can see, the crowd, we got quite the full crowd here, as usual with Heroes of Newerth. Again, this happens to be I feel so humble being my 6th time here at Dreamhack. Happens to be your first, Beef. I mean, what is it like? I want to know, as a first-time caster, I mean, what is it like for you being here with seeing the stage and everything?
I mean, it's pretty overwhelming, Breaky. I started casting about 2 years ago, and it's always been a dream. I mean, it's every caster, every esports fan's dream to make it out here for a Dreamhack, to be able to come out here with S2 and Dreamhack and to really put this production on. It's been nothing short of incredible. Getting to come out here and meet meet the fans, meet the people that make esports possible. It's really fantastic. And of course, anytime we get to associate with the players and cast some epic on, well worth a long journey.
It really is. It really is. I can't repeat enough in terms of meeting with the fans, especially. Again, I've had the chance to be here now several times, obviously, and every single time it just seems to get better and better. And once again, here we are back on the arena. So, we talked a lot about Denial eSports, of course, hyping them up. They are the underdogs. They're down 1-0. On the other side of the spectrum, we have Stay Green. They're the returning champions. They are the juggernaut. They were expected by the majority, in fact, in the poll that we released going into this event, of course, as the team that was going to win. Dreamhack won in 2013 once again. And right now, they are just one game away in a very good spot. Again, you talk about experience. It's just ridiculous across the board. How much experience, not only with Dreamhack, but LANs in general, that Stay Green has, especially against their opposition over there in Denial eSports. So really, again, we labeled it David versus Goliath. I don't think there's any more appropriate label for this matchup here than that. Again, Denial eSports, it is a tough climb. But hey, going back to that, so Denial eSports obviously down 1-0. That first game, again, it goes back to just like, it goes back to the first game where going with picks that just seem to be a little off. Play your game that you know best. They tried to do things a little bit different. They ran that Witchslayer support and whatnot. Sure. It just didn't work out in the end. So go back to what you know best. You can't do Tundra because Stay Green will most likely ban Tundra, let's be honest. They've made that very clear. But go back to those other heroes that you know how to make work.
Yeah, Swindlebones has made it very clear that he knows what's going on in the head of these Denial players, knows which heroes that they really like to get into, and really knows how to ban them out to make them get into less comfort zone. But then maybe, of course, sometimes you get onto this big stage and you make some weird decisions. Maybe you let the nerves get to you, or maybe you just want to try something else new. We've seen it time and time again at these Dreamhack finals. Stay Green generally doesn't make that mistakes. I believe Stay Green, of course, they are the returning champions from summer. Of course, that wasn't with two of their players, Minuts and Limp. They're champions as well. They won in Dreamhack Winter last year, so they're looking to really bring it back. And this Stay Green team is absolutely dominant. I believe they've won every single LAN that they've been to in the last year since they made that name change from Gary Johnson, which, let's be honest, not even really the same team there, Breaky. And I think they're still yet to drop a best-of-3 on LAN.
Yeah, I think you're right. We talked about that streak that they had with online. It finally was broken, of course, by Lion eSports Club. Talk about Lion eSports Club, that matchup that they had. But you know what? I'm rambling on. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 has officially, or game number 2 has officially started. We already played game number 1. Game number 2 officially started. Stay Green versus Denial eSports. Any Stay Green fans out there, make some noise if you want Stay Green to win.
Not bad.
Good noise, good noise. It sounds like there's actually a good amount. Understandable. What about Denial eSports? If you want Denial eSports to win, make some noise.
Pretty good, Breaky. I'm going to have to say that seems pretty dang equal. So definitely fan bases in the house for both of these teams. But Stay Green, they're going to have the slightly easier road. Denial, as I've said before, they've got their work cut out for them, and they're going to have to bring it back, win 2 in a row on the big stage, take this to a game 3. All the pressure is on them right now, and we'll see if they're going to thrive or if they'll crack.
Again, when I was talking with Chessie earlier, he was making the point, going back to think about his first experience, he figured Denial eSports was going to have more of their nerves in that first game, more so than actually being on the stage. The first game, you're playing against the big dogs in Stay Green. It's the first game of the grand finals. A lot is on the line, so understandably that makes sense. But when you're on the stage, it's almost to an extent, at least for him, everything. You're just focused on the game. Sure, everything's around you. There's obviously fans and whatnot in front of you, behind your monitor and everything. But in the end, you're just focused on the game. You do what you know best. And we'll see if Denial eSports is definitely able to handle the pressure. With that said, we already have things happening here, Beef.
Absolutely, we do. We're going to see, but already picks coming out way back up top, though, Breaky. We're taking a look at the bans here. And, of course, Stay Green knows what they're doing. Going to go ahead and ban out Scout and Tundra, addressing both Mickey and, of course, our guy Probusk there, playing one of the best Tundras out there, and he's shown in the past few weeks that this is still a god-tier hero. SG going to neutralize that one right away. Goes into a War Beast and a Keeper of the Forest ban. So that's what Denial's trying to do, is get rid of some of the suicide heroes that SG likes to run. But already I see some fan favorites there on Denial's side.
Hearing some noise over there. We got the Empath Sandwraith combination. So Denial eSports, this is what I was talking about. Go to your roots. Go to what you know you do best. Don't try to play fancy here. You're in the grand finals for a reason. This isn't a fluke. I mean, you beat TMSR 2-0. You beat IG in the group status. You deserve to be here. Go with what you know is best. And obviously Sandwraith, Empath, and then Ophelia on top of that, even for Slapped. They definitely know these heroes very, very well. So that's good to see coming out from Denial eSports. But on the side of Stay Green, they too have comfort heroes. I mean, Tempest, Engineer, and Wretched Hag. Really, those three heroes, definitely we've seen them play it quite a bit. Yeah, they certainly do come together. There's like a Triforce thing that's going on, a combo, some kind of combo. What's the combo called here, Breaky? The Wombo combo?
The Wombo combo coming out right here. And definitely going to be a lot of team fight-oriented action. But, of course, with heroes like Wretched Hag, you have that late-game presence. And, of course, Tempest is going to be able to farm early, generate that pushing power, and, of course, will be taking into the mid-game here. Yeah. But as we go into the second set of bans, one sticking out to me right away with a Grinix and then a Drunken Master ban from Swindlemullins.
I wonder if, obviously, I'm sure he didn't, but I wonder if he forgot that he's playing against Denial, not Lion Esports. But I mean, it's like the Grinix ban. I don't know if I've seen Mickey really play Grinix. I mean, we haven't. I personally haven't watched a whole lot of Denial Esports by any means. But I think Swindlemullins, when we were doing the pregame and everything, talking with the players, whatnot, going into this game too. Actually, they were talking about the Lion series and how he banned Grinix all 3 games, and he's like, I just hate dealing with that. I just hate that hero. He's so annoying. So I wonder if this has something to do simply with that. They do not want any surprise. They're saying you cannot play Grinix. Ravener, Drunken Master, Pestilence, Kraken, and Flux is how the bans are going to shape up. That Flux ban coming out from Denial. Again, Limp's been playing that a lot. He hasn't played it yet, I don't think, here in the Dreamhack event, but it could have definitely worked here, so understandable there.
I mean, teams have really realized that when Stay Green has the makings of the Wombo combo, you don't want to give them Flux as well. That's going to make it the Womboer combo, and definitely denying that one right here. But they do pick up Bubbles coming out in the second picking phase here, and so, like you said, that one's going to be going to Limp, and Limp is definitely a little bit more of a playmaker. He's going to be roaming around once he hits level 6, using that kelp field very effectively, getting the clutch silences off, and making action happen for his team, as opposed to maybe somebody like Keizu that normally does farm a little bit more on the suicides. Expect to see Limp moving around and generating action. So now SG probably going to be looking for that hero to be played by Mr. Swindlemullins, the captain over here. That's with their last pick. But Denial, they've got 50 seconds right now, starting to eat into the time, and they're going to go with Rally.
Yeah, so, taking the Rally here.
Interesting.
Well, Rally, we haven't seen a whole lot of Rally this Dreamhack event either. I mean, going into it, he definitely has been a dying off breed of a hero in terms of being picked up, but he still has his purposes by all means, and we still see him every now and then, especially with Han touring, competitive Han in general. But it's going to be interesting to see how that works out for Denial. Also, where they run it. Will it be a Suicide Rally on Mickey, or will it be more of an Empath Rally mid, perhaps? Or it's actually more of a Rally mid with Empath, of course, babysitting Sandwraith from the beginning. It's probably what could happen here, and then depending on the final pick, obviously, we'll have to wait and see what that comes down to. So back over to Stay Green. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Moon Queen game going to be coming out here. Anyone can win with Moon Queen.
Famous words. Will they be famous last words? We'll have to see in just a second. And there we go. A fan favorite hero coming out. And definitely one we have not seen very much lately.
While.
He received some pretty massive nerfs like 4 months ago and went from way up here to a little bit lower right now. Teams like Lions that were picking him up all the time just kind of dropped off the map, and he's gonna be played by Mickey. Could there be any more of a fan favorite?
A new fan favorite here at Dreamhack. He's playing the Monkey King, an aggressive style of hero, no doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for game number 2 of the grand finals of Heroes of Newerth? Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
I had a feeling you were. I had a feeling you were. With that said, obviously, let's jump into the game right here. I'm going to have it to make some quick adjustments here, being the first cast, obviously, from here. But again, looking at the laning phase, obviously, now the Monkey King, so despite being played by Mickey, I assume it's going to be a middle Monkey King here. I mean, a Suicide Monkey King does seem a little bit out of the question, honestly. I assume they're going to do the Rally Suicide, the Monkey King middle with the Empath. I guess also the likeliness of an aggressive Tri-Lane isn't out of the question now the more that I'm thinking about it. So, again, it's going to be interesting to see what Denial eSports does here. With that said, Beef, right off the bat, I want to make it very clear on one thing. Being that we're in the Dreamhack arena, just like every Dreamhack, guys, just to make it very clear, we have to be careful with what we talk about, obviously. The obvious is that we can't even look at Kongor because of how loud that big-ass monkey is. We can't even talk about Kongor really if it's happening. And ganks and whatnot, you know, if ganks are happening, obviously we kind of have just to let it flow and go from there. And also items that haven't been seen yet, things like that. So just to be clear, the casting might be a little bit different here.
Yeah, it definitely can be breaking. As we go into a little bit of a pause right here, I kind of want to break down with that Monkey King pick, like you were talking about, where he might be. And you brought up the possibility of an aggressive pseudo tri-lane, maybe being paired with that Empath down there in the bottom lane. But it's going to be really interesting. If you're trying to shut down that Moon Queen, that could certainly be one avenue to do it. But you'd also then be able to really touch on that Tempest as well and try to really harm him, stunt that farm as best as possible. So I think that could definitely be one of the better options here for Denial, because you normally don't like to see that engineer in a hard babysitting role. Something a little bit better suited for an Empath, an Andromeda, or a Torturer. But right now, Engineer is going to be coming on over here, so it's going to be really interesting to see how the bearded fellow with the keg is going to be able to thwart the aggression from, well, this very possible aggressive pseudo tri-lane.
Yeah, again, with the lane set up, so we're still not exactly sure what we're going to be seeing here. We'll have to wait and see when they get to the creep wave spawn and who's going to be where when it comes down to it between Denial eSports and Stay Green here. Once again, guys, just to reiterate, this is game number 2, of course. We started the series at our booth, obviously with time constraints and whatnot. Here we are, 1-0 Series Z for Stay Green. If they win this game, they are your Dreamhack champions. Denial eSports trying to force a third and final game. You do see in the Legion jungle, both teams witnessing one another. Empath kind of taking some pressure, and Empath actually in a little bit of trouble right here. It doesn't look like there's enough in numbers, though, and they are going to fight them off. Monkey King showing himself as well. So now Stay Green has a little bit more information as far as what to expect. Monkey King, Empath, they are going to be in the bottom lane down here against this Moon Queen. So it is going to end up being that aggressive pseudo tri-lane, but Ophelia are going to be quickly boxed out by Tempest. And you see Engineer also assisting right here, Beef.
Yeah, Empath's going to come on over there, and if there's anything that we know about support, it's that she's got some pretty big walls. Moon Queen's coming over there as well, Breaky, though, and Empath gonna go down.
Wow.
So Team Stay Green brings home the bloodlust kill just like that, and definitely a little bit odd for support to be coming over there without any kind of assistance from MK.
Yeah, right there. He doesn't have the wall, of course. He went the level 1 Essence Link and definitely did not come into play right there. I mean, in terms of just running into the numbers, I mean, he had to know that they were there, obviously, with Ophelia and her being distracted. So support making an odd decision. Maybe that was just some communication that went wrong right there. She thought she was going to have more backup or whatever. But in the end, she takes the bloodlust kill. So just like that, Stay Green obviously off to a very, very good start. And who got that kill? It was Minout's actually on Tempest. So his farm obviously exceeding. Chessie on Moon Queen did get a great assist for that. So his GPM already going up quite a bit right there when it's all said and done. But again, the Monkey King is no doubt going to be the focus for us as well as everyone else there in the crowd, I'm sure,
certainly,
when it comes down to it as far as what his impact's going to be. Again, speaking of, we haven't seen Monkey King forever. You were talking about that. I mean, he received some heavy nerfs. I believe especially it was to his W, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of the damage output. Or maybe it was the Q, actually.
The Q actually
dash,
lost like some 40 damage, I want to say. It
was a damage,
that
that's
one.
right.
And then there was also some mana cost increases to a couple of his spells, as well as agility gain and I believe base armor reduction. So he definitely took a plethora of nerfs, because at that point he had been looking pretty good. And I'm taking a look at this middle lane matchup, Reiki. It's rather interesting here, but Ophelia definitely taking some pressure here. The Skeleton King is going to get kegged out and probably going to get finished off. Yes, it is. So Tempest already getting that Bloodlust kill, and now that Skeleton King. He's actually pretty well on his way to something like the Ring of Sorcery that would really just really improve his farm. And but back to this middle lane matchup, Reiki. It's rather interesting seeing the Sandwraith here in the middle lane rather than the Rally, as we had kind of expected. Sandwraith is a pretty slippery guy himself, but certainly doesn't contribute as much to a Rally in terms of any kind of roaming ganks.
Yeah, I mean, right now, let's see the start for him. You know, it isn't the best. He's 8-1. You're looking at Bubbles definitely having the much better time at 15-2 now, and definitely putting in the harassment every single time Sandwraith looks to poke in there and get some creep kills. So good job coming out from Limp, of course, playing the Bubbles. Arguably one of the best 1v1ers in the game. We've talked about them before. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, though, Mickey's going for a kill. Monkey King, will he be able to finish it? There's the wall up from Empath. There's the follow-up, and down goes Engineer. Moon Queen, though, she's trying to get some revenge. I don't think it's going to happen, though. She's going to put some pressure, or maybe it will. Tempest coming in from the side right here. Empath and Monkey King running away. Moon Queen's chasing. She doesn't have enough mana for the next move beam. There's the port out from Monkey King, and he will be successful. So the kill happens, and he jets on out of there.
He does get on out of there indeed, Breaky, and definitely a smart play, going for that TP rather than trying to run. He definitely could have been run down in that case. And Breaky, can we actually have you turn down the music a little bit in game? I'm getting
we're not enjoying the Han music?
Yeah, I'm getting word that it's actually a little bit loud, making it a little more difficult. But up top, it looks like Wretched Hag might be in a little bit of trouble here, as the one and only Vulture Lord is going to summon out a tornado. But Wretched Hag able to blink on out of there, and it looks like she's out of harm's way for now. But definitely right now, while we're still in the beginning of this game with a little bit of a lull, Breaky, want to tell the guys at home about Twitter poll that we have going on. Make sure to vote for your favorite team here, who you think is going to be taking it home. And wow, there was a very quick kill right there. That's the power of Monkey King. Not so bad after all.
Well, it is, and obviously missing that kill. I apologize, but Monkey, you can assume again, he has gotcha potential. It's ridiculous. We've seen it before. Big Monkey King players, Pew, Cookies comes to mind when it comes to the history of Heroes of Newerth. It's ridiculous the range that you can get in terms of jumping onto somebody and catching them off guard. And most likely, I'm sure that's something that happened right there at the bottom lane. Sandray taking a lot of pressure in the middle once again, but he will survive. But Monkey King is off to a decent start. Mickey doing work, 290 gold per minute about for him, so not doing too shabby. But it seems like Tempest having the best time of all in the jungle right here. So Minus once again off to a great start himself, and that really is nothing different when it comes to him playing that Tempest. It's definitely a very, very, very comfortable hero for him when it comes down to it. But looking back at the top lane, there was a little bit of that pressure, but at breaking this down a little bit right here, Wretched Hag 18-5, Rally 20-4, so definitely some back and forth up here at the top side. Obviously Rally level 5, we'll see if he gets that level 6 mark, if perhaps he may try for a kill, maybe with some assistance, or maybe go elsewhere for that to happen. Middle lane, more harassment, but no kill's going to be coming out there right now.
Yeah, Sandrate's been taking a ton of pressure from Bubbles. Limp has been doing a really good job of harassing and also getting that rune control. We talk about the importance of that rune control so much here, Breaky, and definitely getting that regeneration rune is going to enable him. Raleigh making a little bit of pressure happen up top, but it looks like Hag is able to get out of there no problem. But down here in the bottom lane, it looks like Monkey King is going to be in trouble.
Uh-oh, Mickey being collapsed on Turco's side. He's going to use the Elusive Dash. He's flying around like the Monkey King that he is. And holy crap, he may actually live. No, the mana battery. He's going to live. The wall.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful save. Will it be enough, though? Bubbles is coming in. He gets the refreshment. Bubbles coming in with the shell surf. He needs to dodge that. Kelfield comes out. Monkey King is going to fall when it's all said and done. Limp ruins the day after a beautiful escape. Limp comes up to clean him up.
Yeah, he certainly does. A lot of commitment there from SG, but you get an opportunity to kill a hero like Monkey King. Oh, middle lane opens up with a backblast there.
Wow.
The Sonar Scream to finish him off. Swinamons is like, hey, you guys wanted to get a kill? Well, we'll give you a couple kills. They're on the wrong side here, though. And that Invis rune definitely paying off. So just like that, Stay Green able to take a pretty large resource and momentum lead in this game. An attempted wall in the bottom lane. One of the very rare missed walls here by support. Yeah. And Monkey King was, Moon Queen was easily able to get away.
Yeah, so not going to be any kills happening on her just yet right there. But again, Mickey just, over the time that we've grown to know this player for these last couple of months especially, it's clear this is that aggressive style of player. He just loves to really be up in your face, playing aggressive, which is why I like to see him on the Monkey King once again. And we've definitely seen that. Samwraith in the meantime, ulti coming out. They're going to the top lane. They want to get Swinamels, but he's just a little bit too slippery. He turns around and applies a hot. Look at him standing in the face of Rally right here. He has support coming in. Proboscis in trouble. They know where he is, and Proboscis gonna fall. Swinamelons knew he had his teammate support coming in, and sure enough, they turn the kill. Sandwraith already getting on out of there.
Yeah, I mean, that was really impressive by Swinamelons, knowing just when he was going to be able to actually stick around there and help facilitate a counter kill. That was actually initiated by Rally with the Compel and the Seismic Slam. It connected, but Swinamelons had enough bottle charges that he was able to survive even when Sandwraith was able to get up there. So very well played by him overall. And Stay Green's continuing to build up the momentum. They've got good map control right now, and they're just going to be looking for more and more kills, and especially with Wretched Hag now rotating out of that top lane. Whenever your Suicide player does have a good start, they're going to be able to generate additional pressure, and that's really what this entire SG team is about. Between the Wretched Hag and the Bubbles and even this Engineer, they're about generating pressure, buying time for this Moon Queen to continue getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I mean, a typical Moon Queen play really coming out right here. Now, Chessie's farm, again, it isn't the best. They have been doing a good job of addressing that. Empath, in the meantime, might be in some trouble once again. She's trying to run out, but Moon Queen now assisting Moon Queen. It pushes her forward right there with the Kexon, actually, but it's just not going to be enough. So support gets picked off. That is now a 5-2 hero kill lead in favor of Stay Green. So support finding himself in some tough spots here at the bottom lane. That is now his second death, and look at what Stay Green's doing. They got 4 players down here at the bottom side. They are ready to push it. Will we see a defense coming out from Denial? Monkey King is here. We don't know if anybody else is here just yet, but Monkey King is going to take some heavy pressure. I mean, he's getting greedy. Yeah. He's trying to poke for some creep kills right here, but yeah, really they're going to box him out, and I don't know if it's going to be enough to hold this right here.
I don't know, man. My mom always taught me not to run in the front of a train, but he's going to go in anyway right here, Breaky. Going to be flip-flopping around. Monkey King goes down immediately, though. The power of Moon Queen. There's a huge Bat Blast going out under 3, and that's going to immediately make Denial turn around and say, abandon this tower. Never mind. Here comes Swinamons. Gets a kill on Ophelia, and they might not be done yet.
Yeah, they're still going to go right here. The tower kill happening. They're going for the second. No, they're going for Sandwraith, actually. Comes out. Flesmeister goes down. A hat trick for Swinamelons. And this is quickly getting very out of hand in favor of Stay Greens. And I look back at the beginning of that fight right there. Monkey King jumping in. The biggest deal, there were 0 creeps around. The Moon Finale, I'm pretty sure all 3 beams right there of Moon Queen's Moon Finale, I guess 3 of the 4 at least, hit Monkey King right there and easily dropped him. This tower's also going to fall. Look at that lead all of a sudden for Stay Green. It is pretty damn significant. 2 towers pushing the bottom. A hat trick for Swinamelons again. And talk about Swinamelons on this Wretched Hag once again having yet another great performance on this hero. He clearly loves this hero, and he's been the MVP on it this Dreamhack so far.
He certainly has, and we came into this Dreamhack saying Swinamelons doesn't really play a Suicide Hag. He'll sometimes go Suicide mid Hag or even a short lane like 1v2 or 1v3, but he doesn't really go into that long lane very often. Yeah. And Swindle's saying, don't you tell me what I can and can't do here. I'm going to go ahead and get into that long lane. Not only am I going to do that, I'm going to win my lane, and then I'm going to help my team get into a massive advantage right now. But that really does just show you how good Swindlemons is. He's a veteran of the big stage right here, and one of the biggest factors as to why Stay Green has been the most dominant team of the last year of Heroes of Newerth, and why they're the heavy favorites coming into not only this game, but this event.
Yeah, we do see right here, Ophelia actually, she's in trouble, definitely. Limp gonna catch her, and look at that damage. The Sonar Scream, the Song of the Sea. The levels are up here for the Legion team, and that is clearly taking place here against Denial eSports. So another death, Lapped going down there, and you kind of wonder at this point if Denial eSports, again, being on the main stage, having to take that break in between the first loss and now this game, you know, and especially now with this momentum here for Stay Green, just hope that they're not getting too demoralized. I mean, they do have a Sandwraith. He's doing not that great. So trying to help them out here. But yeah, things just aren't looking too good for Denial eSports right now. But get some movement, get some kills, get Monkey King, continue have him be active. You know, a couple of pickoffs here and there, and you know, maybe start to crawl back in this game. It is going to be quite the crawl, though, for Denial eSports.
It absolutely is, Breaky. A crawl through, maybe even a field of glass right now for the guys in Denial as that train is going. I don't know if the audience hears it coming, but it's choo-chooing along in the top lane as it knocks down another tower, and this train stops for no man, and certainly not for Denial eSports here. But Denial, they're trying to get some counter push going in the middle lane, looking a little bit hesitant to engage that train is, well, for very good reason. A level 10 Wretched Hag, Tempest with an ultimate available, and then of course you've got Moon Queen with that Moon Finale available whenever she's looking to get some kills. So we'll see if Stay Green's going to be able to defend this middle tower or not. Right now, it looks like they're content to try to take top, but maybe they're actually, looks like they're backing up a little.
Oh, yeah, vulnerability was used right there, and whoa, they just give up a free deny right there, and Bubbles, he wants to go in, though, and Pass found by himself. He's trying to jump, no, he doesn't have level 6 just yet. The Kelpho's going to be used to final auto attack, and now here comes Rechinak. Samwraith, he will pour it away before the Backblast gets in, but he ports it to death anyways, and the chase is on up here now. Monkey King, Ophelia, and Rally, they're all on the run. Ophelia, the Moonbeam hits. They are still chasing. Tempest trying to get in range. Good block off for the Vulture Lord, actually. The Compel in the Wanja Slam, and Tempest is dropping. He is going to fall right there. Moon Queen, though, is too strong. Gets the power of Rechinak to assist. Rally's dropping. You do see Monkey King. He's going to get away. Rally, not the same, though, and more kills happening in favor of Stay Green. Empath resurrecting, though, and Mickey's going back in. Mickey's going balls to the wall, but that's not going to be enough. He needs to get the hell on out of there.
Yeah, he certainly does. Empath not really going to have that option here, Breaky. No boots. Going to throw off the wall. Here comes Sandwraith. Maybe going to try to clean up a kill on the Moon Queen, but Flensmeister's saying, okay, they're at 20%. I still don't have the power to take this down, showing you just how scared the Sandwraith is, and that's kind of what happens when you're off to this bad of a start on your Sandwraith. You don't have that burst potential. You need to have time to actually swing away with those deserted auto attacks, and in this case, was not feeling confident enough. Stay Green with another big team fight there in the jungle. They're continuing to mount this pressure up, and they're up 14-4 in hero kills with a massive resource lead. Just 13 minutes into this game, Breaky. It's really going to require quite the feat for Denial to come back here. It's going to start with probably wanting to get some vision up on the map. Right now, they're warding extremely defensive with no opportunity to get picks. Meanwhile, Stay Green, they've got pretty much everything they need to try to pick off any player they want.
Yeah, Samwraith's just going to farm away here at the top lane, just trying to increase that farm any bit he can get. I mean, you look at his items right now, boots, iron shield, and a power supply, so he does buy something else right there. Looks like the Soul Screen ring, so again, he is trying. He's chugging along, trying to recover for his team, knowing that they're in such a bad spot, but it is just very, very gloomy. Stay Green, it looks like a little bit of grouping up coming on in the middle lane here, and they are going to probably, they're going to be pushing the middle tower now, and if you're Denial eSports, it's that tough case. It's like, really, can you stop this? But at the same time, they have to give it up. I mean, at this point, you know, saving it just for your base probably makes the most sense. But and then they're going to do just that. But in the meantime, Rally gets jumped. Actually, Bubbles goes in. The Kelpho comes out. He has a Compel. Can he get over the ledge? Is the question. Will it be enough? Now there's no Compel. And no, he cannot get over the ledge. And it's a 15-4. Stay Green leading hero kills. They get the tower kill. And they may already be knocking on the door right here of the base of Denial eSports beef.
Yeah, it certainly looks like they will be. Mickey gonna go flip-flopping around, trying to put any kind of pressure onto this push and stop it in its tracks, but it's gonna require a lot more than that. Vagabond leader adding its nukes in there, but it looks like Denial might try to go in here one more time. There's the Empath ultimate. Here comes Mickey.
Mickey, he's in the front lines. He's looking for that chance. Look at Stay Green, though, there, spreading Tempest. He comes back in. Bubbles comes in, and that's a dead Monkey King. No, he's alive, actually. Somehow he's alive. He manages to actually live with that Heavenly Vault, but in the end, not enough. You see again, some fun chat coming out. I think it's at a point, too. Denial eSports realizes the end may be near. They're just going to give it one last go right here, but obviously the chance is very slim. There we go. Monkey King jumps in, goes for Bubbles. The energy field, and holy crap, was Monkey King even there? I mean, he just disappeared, man.
Absolutely no remnants left. Vaporized by that energy field here, Breaky. And 15 minutes into the game, the Glaives are already bouncing here in the base.
Jeez.
Normally, you see that 35, 45 minutes in, and Rally is going to get sent back there. So, living life on the edge, but that's it, Breaky.
That's it. Stay Green. They are once again your Dreamhack winter. Well, your Dreamhack champions as they take Dreamhack winner 2013. They take the series 2-0, and obviously they are Dreamhack winner 2013 champions. So back-to-back Dreamhack events are theirs. Denial eSports, they're going to be your runner-up. They said going into this they were happy to be a top 4. They got to the grand finals. But in the end, Stay Green proven to be just too much. The David versus Goliath, well, Goliath smashed David here, unfortunately.
He certainly did. Gonna need to work on that slingshot aim or something. But Breaky, you talked about them being happy to get into the top 4. They made it here to the main stage. They got to play in the Dream Arena. This is really kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the guys in Denial. Maybe they're gonna make it back here again. Maybe they'll prove to be the really favored team next time. But for now, Stay Green continues their streak of land dominance and adds yet another Dreamhack championship to their repertoire.
Denial's made it very clear that they're not going to be breaking up. I mean, several different players have made that clear statement. I mean, again, because this is even better than they expected. They're having a blast. They're staying over at Slap's house, who lives here in Yanchiping, actually, to come to Dreamhack. They're staying together. They're hanging out. They're good friends now all of a sudden. So the Heroes of Newerth has really brought these guys together and being great fans in real life as well, which is always a good story, too. So they're going to be sticking together, and no doubt they're going to be going throughout the rest of Han Tour Season 2, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. Going to the finishing off of the season now. I mean, we're now getting deep. We only have 3 more cycles left in Han Tour, and where will Denial eSports end up? And I could very possibly see them as a team that could possibly be that second team going. I mean, it's going to be tough. Yes, Stay Green Alliance Esports Club are up there, but if Denial eSports keeps improving like they have, who knows what can happen?
Yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit when you've got such a young team. And we talk about it being bronze 3 months ago. This team is less than 3 months old, and they just made it to the main stage, to the grand finals of the Dreamhack winter event here. So, I mean, really, they're on the upward path. A second place here is absolutely phenomenal. But talking about the boys on Stay Green, I mean, that dominance continues. There's no one that can hold a candle to these guys once you get them onto the land setting. Online, they drop a map here or two, but you get them here, nobody.
They looked phenomenal here. I mean, they came in prepared. That was very clear, as they always do with LAN events. Again, we talked about the experience with this team. It really showed this event, I think it's safe to say as well. Their toughest opponents was obviously Lion Esports Club in the semifinals. That was a hell of a series. That was the best. That was the grand finals that a lot of people did expect, obviously, coming into the event. But because of the Lions and their struggles in the group stages, they lost to Team SR. Again, that's why they met up in the semifinals. But Denial Esports, again, they make it a Stay Green. Yeah, they deserve all the praise in the world, absolutely. Not only here in this series, but they've been looking phenomenal all throughout. And they are once again deservingly your DreamHack winner, 2013 champions. Beef, it's official. We're done here with DreamHack Winter. It's actually finished. I still can't believe it. It's finished.
It's been an incredible 3 days here, Breaky. We've had some of the biggest games in Heroes of Newerth, the biggest teams all showing up, the group stages, the quarters, the relegations, the semis, and then the grand finals, but it's all wrapping up right here. And of course, huge congratulations to the teams that did make it out here, the teams that showed up. They played well, and of course, some of those fan favorites, IG, TMSR, Lions, Stay Green, and of course, Denial right here, getting to come out, meet their fans, and play the game that we all love at one of the best events out there.
We knew it was going to be a great event coming in, and it certainly definitely stood up for that. Beef, before we send it over to Rachel here, I want to actually give you the chance. Any shout-outs you want to make? I mean, any closing statements from us? Because this is it for us. So.
Yeah, this is it for us, Breaky. I just want to say what an incredible experience it's been out here. My first DreamHack event, and just how grateful I am to both DreamHack and S2 for bringing me out here, allowing me to cast this event. It's been an absolute pleasure to be working with the guys out here, the production crew, and of course, all the DreamHack staff and the people that make this event possible. To meet all the fans out here is just such an incredible opportunity, and of course to always hang out with the players that we experience so much with online. Always a good time to hang out with them. So we're going to probably go ahead and hang out with them, party with Stay Green, and see how they're doing down there, because I'm sure they're pretty happy. But aside from that, Breaky, shout out to you, my casting buddy here, making sure to hold it down all weekend long, and of course to my team, Complexity Gaming, for everything that they've done for me here in esports, and to all my friends, family, and fans back home. Love you all. That's it.
There you go. Shout out to you, good sir. Thank you very much. Shout out to you, the fans. You know, you the fans especially, really make this experience amazing. Thank you so much once again for helping us support another amazing Heroes of Newerth tournament here at DreamHack. Love it every single time I come, and I hope to just continue to come here, obviously. I love Sweden. I love DreamHack, and I love you guys. Love the fans. Shout out to the CP Kappas with that said. I know there's a couple out there in the crowd as well. Shout out to my family. Shout out to my girlfriend. Love you. Shout out to Stay Green one more time for taking out the championship, and as they take out Denial Esports 2-0 here in the grand finals. With that said, let's send it to Rachel, who's on the stage with our runner-up and winners.
Thank you so much, Breaky CPK. Thank you so much, Beef. Give it up for your casters. They worked hard this weekend, but the only people working harder than them are our gamers. So let's give it up first off to our second place team, Denial. They're going home with 35,000 Swedish kroner. They have arguably the youngest player on their team. Gentlemen, I want to give you a chance to address your fans. What would you like to say?
Well, just thank you for supporting Denial eSports. We're very happy with our placement no matter what, and I'm glad you all came here to watch either us or SG. Thank you everyone for just supporting Han and keeping it alive.
Thank you, everyone. Let's give it up one more time. Your second place team, Denial. They are, of course, going home with a very generous prize pool. Thank you so much to S2 Games. Do an excellent job supporting their game, supporting their players. And here are your second place Heroes of Newerth team. Now, without further ado, it is our returning champions. This is their second Dreamhack. They have won. It is none other than Stay Green. Gentlemen, please, to the front of the stage. That was a slick move there, sir. You are going home with 70,000 Swedish kroner and also a special treat from S2 Games. They have commissioned for you a set of championship rings. Here we go. This is about as swanky as it gets in esports. Here you go. I don't know how close you can get to that, but why don't you show the people there? Very nice. Even says Dreamhack Winter 2013 on there. Let's see if it fits. Are we good? Oh, we're good. You're married to Han now, sir. What would you like to say to your fans?
I have not much voice left, but thanks a lot to everybody watching, especially you guys on the fans. It was great. Yeah, I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. And as always, just, big shout out to our competition. It was the best it's ever been. And big shout out to my family all watching at home early on Saturday. Thanks, guys. I love you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Congratulations once again to our first place team. I think we have a giant check for you, made up for 70,000 Swedish kroner. Again, thank you so much to S2 Games, supporting their team, supporting their players. And that's how you get excellent games like this. So thank you so much for playing. Thank you to the competition, to our wonderful casters, Beef and Breaky CPK, and of course our excellent production team here at Dreamhack. Have an excellent night, and we're gonna have some more final games for you, so don't go anywhere.